There are so many taboos surrounding mental illness. In fact, the first thing that most people say when they are admitted to a psychiatric hospital is that they don't belong there. Sonja, this is Sonja, everyone, and she's the co-author of a book that she wrote with her daughter. It's called An Impossible Life, and she certainly thought that, perhaps in her case, she really didn't need any help, but it was her husband who acknowledged and noticed that she needed some assistance. She wrote about this in this story, in this book, with her daughter, and she's here to tell us about her journey and why she decided to share it with everyone. So, Sonja, I want to kind of paint the picture, though, of the beginning of your journey. So you had what many would assume to be the ideal life, right? You were married to the president of a hospital. You were attending these very high-profile events that many would be so envious of. You had a beautiful home. You had children, and yet, at the same time, you were dealing with a mental illness. So how did you manage to hide those symptoms, and what were your symptoms?
Well, that meant having no close friends. I kept people at a distance and put on a facade. I was in so much pain, I would cut the bottoms of my feet so no one could see the cut marks. I would lay in bed for weeks, not change my clothes, and hide from the world, just being in so much pain. I had spent like over $150,000 on credit cards in 3 months in a mania. I had gained 100 pounds and then lost 100 pounds and had dealt with so much pain, and I just kept hiding it and digging it deeper.
Okay, and throughout your journey, you decided that you're going to write this book, and you wrote a book with your daughter. What brought you to that? What made you go, you know what, I've gone down this path. I know your husband helped you. You had treatment. On the back end, though, you're writing this story. So why did you decide to be vulnerable and share your story?
Well, I finally came to a point after I had attempted suicide, and my husband was CEO of the hospital, and a leading psychiatrist there said to him, never bring her back to this hospital. And I felt in that moment like, oh my gosh, he should be advocating for the mentally ill. He's trying to hide me. The mental illness does not matter what race, religion, gender, what your economic background is. It touches all of us.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to write a book, so I wrote this book, An Impossible Life, to bring people into my mental ill world, to show you what is it like to be involuntarily admitted to the psych ward, having security guards lock you away. What is it like in a psych ward? What is it like to be in mania, depression, anxiety-ridden, suicidal thoughts and urges, and attempted suicide, my father dying from suicide? How does that affect a person, children, a family? And how did I get to the other side, to where I am today, and have a happy, thriving life?
Absolutely, and I think the beauty behind that too is letting those that are probably on that similar path know that they're not alone. That, and like you've mentioned, that this impacts everyone. Mental illness doesn't select a group of people. It impacts everyone. So tell me, though, about the stigmas that those suffering from mental illness face. Why do you think so many people are afraid to be open about this?
Well, as you know, if you broke your arm, you would say to people, oh, I went to the hospital, I broke my arm. You wouldn't even think twice about saying it. But people don't want to say, oh, I went to the psych ward, I was having suicidal feelings and urges, because people don't understand it and there's a stigma about it. Many movies that are made make the mentally ill seem like a freak show.
And I think our society in general, I think it's part of our society and our culture, we do stigmatize it. And it is like you're saying, you know, we accept the fact when someone has a cold, we accept the fact when someone breaks their arm. We need to also accept the fact that when someone is having a mental issue, right?
Oh, mental illness is just like any other illness. It's just like diabetes. It's like breaking your arm, the flu. It is a physical illness, and you can get well and you can get help. And people need to feel comfortable and not judged, so they can talk about it and come forward and get the help they need.
I love that. It's a great statement that you can get well, you can get help, and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Oh, there is hope.
Yeah, there is hope. Okay, so where can people go for more information and find your book?
Anyone suffering from mental illness or know anyone that's suffering from mental illness, my book, An Impossible Life, will help you better understand them and how to make things better. And it's sold at Amazon.
At Amazon. I love that. There is hope.
There is hope.
Thank you so much, Sonja. Really appreciate you coming here and being willing to share your story to help others.